In the brutal winter of 1945, the Polish landscape lay buried in snow and silence. Soviet soldiers reached Auschwitz on January the 27th, discovering Auschwitz-Birkenau, the largest Nazi death camp. Thousands of survivors greeted them, skeletal, hollow-eyed, barely alive. The evidence of mass murder was everywhere: ruined gas chambers, burned warehouses, and piles of belongings. The silence was overwhelming, a void left by over 1 million murdered souls. The soldiers' discovery forced humanity to confront the darkest chapter in its history. The gates of Auschwitz had opened, and the truth could no longer be hidden. Auschwitz was engineered for mass murder, a factory of death. Trains arrived day and night, packed with people from across Europe. On the platform, Nazi doctors performed selections, sending some to forced labor, most to immediate death. Victims were deceived, told they were going for showers, then locked in gas chambers and killed with Zyklon B. The process was chillingly efficient, repeated thousands of times. Bodies were burned in massive crematoria, operated by prisoners forced into the Sonderkommando. The Nazis kept meticulous records, transport lists, death certificates, supply orders for poison gas. Even as they tried to destroy evidence, vast archives survived. The bureaucracy of genocide was exposed, engineers, clerks, and administrators all complicit. Auschwitz's design revealed the Holocaust was not chaos, but a state-sponsored, industrialized crime. The camp's blueprints and paperwork left no doubt. This was murder by design. The evidence was undeniable, the scale almost unimaginable. The world would have to confront not just the killers, but the system that enabled them. Auschwitz became the symbol of mechanized evil. The Holocaust was not the work of a few. It was a national project of destruction. The paper trail ensured the truth could never be erased. In the warehouses called Canada, liberators found mountains of stolen belongings: shoes, eyeglasses, artificial limbs, and even tons of human hair, each item a silent witness to a stolen life. The Nazis had systematically plundered every victim, cataloguing and repurposing everything of value. Gold teeth were melted down, valuables sent to the Reich, clothing redistributed. This organized theft funded the regime and completed the victims' dehumanization. A single suitcase, labeled with a name and address, connected the horror to real people and families. These objects are irrefutable proof of genocide, tangible evidence that cannot be denied. They stand as a permanent memorial to those who arrived with hope and left with nothing. The belongings tell the story the Nazis tried to erase. In these piles, the world saw the scale of loss and the humanity behind every number. For those not sent to the gas chambers, survival in Auschwitz was a daily battle. Prisoners endured starvation, disease, brutal labor, and constant violence. They were stripped of names, reduced to numbers, and forced to witness daily horrors. Yet, even in this abyss, people found ways to resist. Secret friendships, shared food, clandestine prayers, and acts of sabotage kept hope alive. Some organized study groups or artistic performances clinging to their humanity. News from the outside world, smuggled in at great risk, offered a sliver of hope. For many, surviving one more day was an act of defiance. The accounts of survivors are not just stories of suffering, but of extraordinary resilience. Their spirit endured, even in the face of absolute evil. Auschwitz was designed to destroy, but it could not extinguish the human will to live. The survivors' testimonies became a beacon for future generations. Among Auschwitz's horrors were the medical experiments, acts of torture disguised as science. Josef Mengele, the Angel of Death, was infamous for his cruel experiments on twins and others. Victims were injected with diseases, mutilated, and killed for grotesque research. Other doctors conducted freezing, high-altitude, and sterilization experiments, abandoning all ethics. The discovery of these atrocities shocked the world and became central evidence at the Nuremberg trials. The resulting Nuremberg Code established the foundation for modern medical ethics. The legacy of these crimes is a permanent warning. Science without humanity is deadly. As the Allies advanced, they uncovered the Nazi V-weapons, V-1 flying bombs and V-2 rockets. The V-1, a pilotless drone, terrorized London with its buzzing engine and sudden, deadly silence. The V-2, the world's first ballistic missile, struck without warning, bringing destruction from the edge of space. These weapons killed thousands, but more died building them, prisoners forced to work in horrific conditions. The V-weapons failed to change the war's outcome, but ushered in a new era of warfare. Their technology and scientists were seized by the Allies, fueling the Cold War arms and space race. The terror from the skies revealed the lengths to which the regime would go. The legacy of these weapons still shapes our world. The cost in human lives was staggering. Allied investigators also uncovered Nazi research into biological warfare. Secret facilities experimented with anthrax, cholera, typhus, and plague, seeking ways to weaponize disease. The program never reached full production, hampered by technical and political obstacles. Still, the intent was clear and chilling. The discoveries spurred the Allies to develop their own programs and, decades later, led to international treaties banning biological weapons. The shadow of these experiments remains a warning about the dangers of weaponized disease. The lessons learned shaped global security for generations. The war's end did not erase the scars left by these discoveries. Survivors carried physical and psychological wounds, their testimonies transforming numbers into human stories. The phrase "never again" became a global call to action. The Nuremberg trials established accountability for crimes against humanity and defined genocide in law. Sites like Auschwitz became memorials, teaching future generations about the dangers of hatred and indifference. Remembering is not just honoring victims, it is a responsibility and a warning. The machinery of genocide was built by people. Understanding it is our best defense. The lessons of 1945 remain urgent and relevant. The world must never forget what was uncovered in that frozen winter. The truth, once revealed, cannot be hidden again. The legacy of Auschwitz endures in every vow to resist hatred. The survivors' voices echo through history. The world changed forever and must remain vigilant.